Girl, the arc from people pleasing, I'm gonna do everything for my partner, don't even worry about me, I don't have needs, I just care about you, to hyper independent, if you don't get your shit together, I'm leaving you, is so strong. My people pleasing and caregiving was so bad that when I finally started to work on it, all that was left was anger. I'm not talking about getting mad when they don't pick up after themselves, because you should get mad about that. I just walk around so angry, feeling suffocated for no reason. Because that past version of me that used to give up everything and everything to make other people happy was also the child that grew up too quickly and had to take care of her siblings and her parents. And people don't tell you about how much resentment you start feeling when you heal. You start noticing how much you do and you're like, why aren't you doing as much as me? When you're in your hyper independent phase, you will feel mad when other people aren't there with you. Girlies, I know it probably makes you feel more safe, but hyper independence is just as unhealthy as people pleasing.
Just a reminder that hyper independence can be just as harmful to you in your relationships as hyper dependency. Especially for you, reaching out to others for help is a sign of courage and strength, not of weakness. Being hyper independent makes a lot of sense if you grew up in a family that you couldn't depend on and you were constantly disappointed by them. So now, as an adult, you may have learned to be hyper independent, but at what cost? Love, connection, empathy, compassion, these all require us to be honest and vulnerable. And being hyper independent doesn't give you that space.
So I think men go through something similar in that we have to make our own way. We're taught that this is the natural progression of things in the world. But it seems like what these women are complaining about is the fact that it's wearing them down. And this is what a lot of men have been trying to say to this type of woman, is that you're hyper independent. I don't need a man. I could do it all by myself, leads to burnout, as it would with any human being. It's just that you decided not to listen. And now you're here crying, snotting all over the floor, trying to figure out what went wrong. Your hyper independence is what went wrong. Get help and stop doing that.
I am not a princess. I don't need a prince to save me. I'm a queen. I can handle it myself.
This is what you have some of the women out there teaching their daughters from a very young age. The argument is that you need help. I don't know why you have women that seem to think that someone helping you is someone trying to rescue you. Young lady, you're literally relying on your parents to raise you. Why is this cute?
So quick little girl chat here. If you're not a girl, you can keep scrolling because this absolutely does not apply to you. So for all my girls, do you remember how a while ago there was like that big saying and it was like, I think I girl bossed a bit too close to the sun. Does anyone feel like maybe they single girl era'd a little bit too close to the sun? Just a little bit too hard. And now you're just like hyper independent and you can't even fathom anyone helping you with anything. Like post breakup, let's just say you really got into that single hot girl era, took your hot girl walk, took care of yourself, started to live by yourself, maybe got a dog. And now you fear that you may have single girl era'd just a wee bit too hard. Like you're just not sure if you could ever let anyone in again. I fear that I am just too hyper independent now. Like the thought of someone sleeping in my bed, disgusting. The thought of someone helping me with anything, cooking meals together, it just doesn't sound appealing anymore. So I fear I may have single girl era'd a bit too close to the sun on this one.
I mean, it's not too late. It's a learned behavior. Do the work. Get therapy, ma'am. You and the other 900 women in the comments.
To my hyper independent girlies, I love you. You are so powerful and you are so amazing. If you are in a relationship, please remember that buying you flowers is his job, not yours. Let him love you, be patient, and learn to receive gracefully. If you start buying yourself flowers because you believe that you can, and yes, baby, I know, we both know you can, because you know what flowers you like, because you know what you're in the mood for, and because you want to prove a point that you are independent. But trust me, if you do this, you are taking over his job and you're sending a signal to him that your standards are low. And guess what? When that job is taken by you, do you think he's still gonna do it? No, he won't. Because why? Because you're sending a signal to him that you would accept less, if nothing, and still be happy. A man will always take the easiest route to success if you're already pleased. Why would he put in the effort? You take over buying you flowers, and then what's next? You're gonna buy you jewelries, you'll start planning the dates, and you'll start planning the trips. All of this, that's his job. He's supposed to chase you, to impress you. You need to be in your feminine space and receive gracefully, and allow for him to be in his masculine space.
Almost, but not quite. If you buy yourself flowers and pamper yourself, great. I do the same thing. Maybe not the flowers. But what a man is thinking is, I'm trying to be of assistance, but she doesn't need me. And you also have to start looking at need and want as synonymous in this instance, where I think both men and women know that once you get down to the bottom of it, you don't need a man or a woman to survive. But the way your hyper independent nature comes off is that you don't want a man either. And in similar fashion, when you get mad at a man for only wanting you for sex because you feel used, a man might feel similarly because you don't really care about him, other than to stroke his ego when you want him to take out the garbage or lift up a piece of wood.
Bro, being independent isn't masculine. Being independent is being a person. The definition of independence is freedom. And if you're turned off by that, there's something wrong with you.
I am a hyper independent woman. I can on my own. I take care of my own. I'm good. But I would really love some help. I don't ever ask for help. And I know that's an issue within me that I'm working on daily. But I just wish I had someone to take out the trash, help me clean my kitchen, maybe the bathroom every once in a while, cook dinner, someone to cuddle on the couch with and watch, someone to write me little love notes, just cause I don't need all that. I can definitely hold up my own just fine. Been doing it for a while. Doesn't mean I don't want it. Being 100% of the time is exhausting.
As a man, I know this. This is why I want to help you. But you asking for help as a hyper independent woman would mean that you have to sit down somewhere and be quiet for a little while. Let the man do his thing instead of critiquing and nagging the whole way through because it's not the way you would have done it.
So my dad has been here for like about a week now, just kicking it. I am too independent for my own good. And I will literally put a lot on myself so that nobody else feels like I'm not doing too much or like I don't have things or like I need help. Fucking weird. This morning, I woke up. Actually, there are a couple things that happen around my house that normally I wouldn't be able to like get to or do or take care of. And I just leave them to the wayside because there's so much that I like have to do on a regular basis. But randomly I'll see things like taking care of, like I got a closet full of washed clothes. Like what? Not washed clothes, but washed towels. And it's like, bro, I know I would have gotten there, but it probably would have been when I ain't had nothing at all. I had towels, but I have it fully stocked. My dishes like stay clean. My basement, usually that's the space where it's like, bro, clothes, toys. Don't nobody go down there. That's my daddy is clean. And it could just be because he's here and he want to be comfortable. Or you can see his daughter is an independent woman and taking care of a lot of stuff at once. And let me just take care of some of the little. Right, cool. I had the urge to be like, no, dad, you good. I got it. I'll get to it. I had the shit. Before I even went to him, for him to be like, I got it. No, you good. I don't want anybody to get the impression that I don't need help anymore. And I don't even need to go and tell the help to stop because I've been asking for help for a very long time. And you got to be mindful of the messenger. Like, my dad is helping me out so much. I'm getting naps. Like, I'm taking naps. So it's like, I feel like he's the messenger. And the message is, baby, help is here. Whenever you need it, call. And not on a person, but like, you know. And that's not that I need help. I need help with the little stuff, like dishes, like my laundry, like god dang, I don't know, because I'm doing multiple things with both of my kids, the same schedules with both of my kids. I'm taking care of my own self and my own schedule. So it's like, I can either be this independent woman and my head is like, oh, I don't know. I am grateful. I am honored to come to this realization, and I appreciate my dad. And I'm gonna tell him thank you for all this help that he's been giving to me without saying I got it or I can. Don't even no. Please worry about it. Please see where I need help and do something about it without me having to ask you.
Great. So your dad is probably seeing you and wanting to help his little girl out, as most dads do. Now, here's a little exercise. Take what you see from him and look for that in a man. Not necessarily the same things, but similar qualities. Or better yet, when you find a man, bring him to your dad and say, hey dad, I really like this guy. What do you think? Sit down, shut up, allow your dad and him to talk, and allow your dad to give you insight into what he thinks about this man. Is dad going to be 100% right? about everything? Maybe not. He just met the guy. But there are some things that men are going to pick up on and say, hey, you might want to watch out for that. Even if you don't leave him alone, you might want to watch out for that and watch for this closely. This makes things easier. It's not saying that it's going to cut out all the stress of dating and being in relationships, but it's going to help out a lot.
I have a question for the divine feminine, preferably that are Black or women of color, and dating coaches that are for women of color and Black women. In the luxury or, the luxury lifestyle, that's to each their own. How does one become comfortable when a man wants to pay or stuff like that? Like when you ask men to pay for your date, if they asked you out. Just feels so foreign to me because I've always been taught to do things independently. And also, bonus points, I was basically living with my dad majority of my life. So therefore, even in my friend group, I was considered the dad of the friend group. And I see these women on TikTok and in social media that are with this luxurious lifestyle, that have a partner that loves them and provides for them. But it's just, for me, I've always been like, you need to provide for yourself. So when friends are like, oh, the guy should pay for your meal, I always go 50-50 because it just feels odd to me. How do you get out of that mindset or break that mold?
Some women get it, some women don't. Just scrolling through the comments, I see one woman say, you have to reframe your way of thinking. I agree. But then she says you deserve to be treated and provided for. I see where she's going, but I don't necessarily agree. I feel like this attitude a lot of times breeds entitlement in women and makes them think they don't have to do anything for the relationship. There's another comment that I agree with more that says one way to think of it is that a man gets joy from treating you well and paying. So by allowing him to pay, you're actually doing something nice. I think that I would go with this advice more readily than you deserve something. But hey, that's just my opinion. Until the next video, I'm out.